I'd like to put a bit of a smile on your face. You've kind of touched on it a little bit already, but both Liverpool and Leeds waited many, 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 many years to taste something. For Liverpool, it was winning the title. For Leeds, it was
Yes.
promotion back to the big time in the Premier League. How was that for
Yeah.
you? And what did it mean to you?
Well, we go for the Leeds first on this one, because I generally mean this when I say this. Anyone who knows me well, I have said that I felt guilty for them 16 years that we've been out of the Premier League, because I felt responsible as captain at that point. I know there was a lot of the players and a lot of the reasons why we got relegated, but I did take that to heart, and I have carried it around with me a little bit, being honest. But I'm so happy that the club are back where they should be. It looks like this season's sorted, and they're going to be around for a while, because performances have been outstanding. They've got some great lads there. I've been lucky enough to meet a few of the boys and spoke with a few of the boys. They're all growing in stature. Special mention to Patrick Bamford, I think, who's been outstanding all year, and he's led by example. Never really got much credit for the player he's been, but he's getting better and better. And hopefully the England cap can come for him. It wouldn't be, it's well deserved, and lots of other people as well. But yeah, Leeds was a special achievement when they got promoted. They won it quite well in the end, which is great. They're great. We obviously celebrating without the fans is tough, but they had a good go at it. I know a lot of Leeds fans turned up, probably shouldn't have, but it's hard to stop that, isn't it? It was the same. And then going to Liverpool as well, it was the same in Liverpool. A lot of people congregated outside Anfield, but it's difficult to, what do you do? It's, everyone's trying to enjoy it, but wearing masks or whatever. It's a tough one, but Liverpool were in the league after 60 years, and then 30 years, not 60. Is incredible. Yeah, it did feel like that. But the achievement of the boys in the group, that's what you have to look about. And when you look at the leaders within that, and even you go through the Hendersons, the Milners, they always get the mention, and even people like Adam Lallana, who's obviously left the club now. I've heard he was a good voice around the club, and Andy Robertson looks like he's a good talk, a good voice around the place, and they've got quite a few now as well, which is so important. Especially at the moment they're having a bit of a tough period, but they'll come out of that. Whether they'll catch City, I don't know in a minute, but that's just the way it is at the moment. But Liverpool have had so many injuries over the last year. I know everyone's talking about the Van Dijk and the other people, but let's reflect back about how good they were for them couple of years. That's what it, unbeaten at home for how many games? It was ridiculous. They were on an unbelievable run, and all good things do come to an end. We all know that in life, and that's what happened with Liverpool. And at the moment, they're going to have to regroup. We know that Klopp's the best manager in the world at regrouping. No one likes losing. But I think back-to-back Premier League with a pandemic going on as well. I'm not blaming it, but it is tough, because a lot of the fans, especially the Liverpool-based and Leeds-based fans, they rely on the fans coming in, don't they? They love that support. And the two clubs that we've really touched upon have got two of the best fan bases around the world. There's no two ways about it. I mean, even Leeds are growing everywhere. I speak to a lot of people around the world for Leeds, in all the different countries. I've worked out in Malaysia with Astro Sports and stuff. And, when I go to them places, there's as many Leeds fans as there is Liverpool coming down to see me and say hello and stuff. So, Leeds are growing as well. Liverpool have had an incredible few years with the Champions League victory and then the Premier League. This year is going to be a tough year, but you never know. We're still in for shout, and we'll keep battling on. But yeah, we have to mention that both clubs have had an amazing season. And for me, after what I went through, it was like the perfect tonic, as they say. Pity it wasn't gin, but the perfect tonic. It was so emotional for me, actually, because I got the opportunity to go into Anfield, obviously doing it all properly, and I had a photo with the Premier League. I've had a photo with the Champions League before, which was great doing that. Got my mum and dad a picture as well. Years ago, that's when they won it in 2005. I got my mum and dad were the friend who was looking after the trophy, so they got a picture with it as well. So it's just nice, and I don't forget stuff like that. And I think with Liverpool as well, Europe, and with Liverpool, it's slightly different because when you win in the Champions League and you win the Premier League within that small period of time, that's an amazing achievement to do, and it's hard to be that consistent, so regular, so week in, week out. I think it's tough. We've seen with City struggled last year. They had a few injuries. Laporte was out injured, main defender, and they struggled. Now they've got Diaz in, they've got a couple of other players, so they're looking a stronger team. City and Liverpool have obviously got, when you're losing your best defenders. I know from it's happened with me over the years, and sometimes if you lose your better players, it's tough, especially in defensive positions. Because people always know about the strikers. You've always got people who can fill in their positions, but it's always hard to replace really good defenders. In them areas, because you can't. How do you replace Virgil van Dijk? It's like when I played with Rio. When he come out, how do you replace them players that level? Them elite players. There's not many of them about, and like you say, Liverpool are an elite team. There's no two ways about it. Leeds are on the way, in my opinion, to being an elite team. There's not many that are, but City are, and I think at the moment they're the team to catch. But Liverpool have been an outstanding, and I think ambassadorial-wise, I always talk like that because a lot of them players are ambassadors for the clubs day in, day out. I mean, even James Milner, an old mate of mine, played in his debut for him. He sent me some incredible messages. Again, I won't forget them, and they're obviously personal to me, what he said to me. But it was true. He said, I remember playing with you, and you just used to put your head in everything. And it's nice to hear that, isn't it? Sometimes I don't, it's not. But it would be nice if someone says, when you scored a nice goal, but you put your head in it. That'll do for me. I'm happy with that, especially off James, because he's as tough as old boots, isn't he? Let's be honest, proper Yorkshire lad. Gets stuck in, knows the game inside out.
Very underrated as well.
Oh, massively underrated. What a career he's had, and what a player. You can play him anywhere. I know he doesn't probably like playing at left back, but even when he plays there, he does a job. He gets on with it. Yeah, but just an all-round good lad, good player. And will him and Henderson, people like that, go somewhere else together? Maybe, I don't know, because they seem like they're all well suited for each other's, the way they work. Does somebody step in when Klopp finally, thinks it's time for him? And there's lots of little scenarios around that. Will Stevie G end up back at Liverpool? Who knows? Yeah. Klopp's obviously doing so well anyway that we don't really think about that. But as a football fan, we always do. We're thinking, right, what's next? Because that's the way we are. But yeah, great clubs. Very fortunate to have played for both, and really happy to have definitely captained Leeds. That was a big moment for me.